Hello everyone, welcome to another exciting episode of Dayspring Discussions. I'm your host, Sean McGahee, and this is a show where we talk about movies, TV, sci-fi, fantasy, comic books. If you geek out about it, we're going to talk about it. You can listen to Dayspring Discussions on iTunes, YouTube, Podomatic, and Patreon, and contact Dayspring Discussions on the Facebook group, Twitter account, and dayspringdiscussions@gmail.com. Well, happy Tuesday, everyone. It's a sunny day here in Austin, Texas. Nice day to get outside and do a couple of things. I've been lazy, pretty much. I'm not going to lie. I feel kind of tired today. I feel like I might be getting sick. I hope not, because I got a lot to do this week and a lot to talk about right now, guys. So, hopefully you all went out and celebrated a good May 4th Star Wars day. I watched a couple of Star Wars movies, had some blue milk, all that good stuff. And then, of course, the following day, I hope you got out to your local comic book store and celebrated Free Comic Book Day. I took my niece, my daughter, and her friend, and we went and got some comics, and it was a very good morning. Got some donuts along with it. I think they had a good time, and that's really what it's all about, is bringing the kids, having some fun, and hopefully getting them into comic books as well, and promoting this great medium of comic books, guys. So, couple items I have on the agenda for today's show. To be honest, like I said, I'm not feeling the best, so it might not be my best show, but nevertheless, I'm going to persist that I go through these topics just to keep you informed. You guys fire back on the social media groups and dayspringdiscussions@gmail.com. Let me know what you think. Starting off is a movie that I just seemed to have finished about 20 minutes ago, and that is Batman Ninja. That's right, it's available at Redbox. So I went out this morning, picked it up, and I really wanted to check it out. Now, I'm not a big anime guy. You know, I've tried several times throughout my life to watch anime such as Akira and Dragon Ball Z and all that stuff, but I just can't get into it. This, of course, being the latest Batman movie, I had to check it out. And I've been very intrigued with the movie as well, because from the storyline, at least from the trailers, is that Batman was sent back in time, and he has to live in ancient Japan, so he's stripped of all his technology. And to me, that's the part of Batman and the character that I don't like. And all he's left with is his brains, his brawn, and his willpower. And to me, that's the part of Batman I do like. So I was looking forward to that aspect of the story and kind of taking my favorite parts of Batman and pushing them to the forefront. So with this one, I sat down to watch it. So basically, just to let you guys know, the gist of it is that Gorilla Grodd has a little time machine and sets it off in Arkham Asylum. So Batman's rogues gallery, as well as his family, such as the Robins, Nightwing, and Catwoman, even Alfred, are all sent back to ancient Japan, where all the villains, such as the Joker, Two-Face, Poison Ivy, the Penguin, they're all fighting over ancient Japan as these warlords. To start off, it was kind of interesting, you know. It was cool to see Batman, like I said, in a primal element. Towards the middle of the movie or so, he realizes he really has to not rely on the technology and just, you know, focus on his mind and his strengths that he has inward. Where it lost me, though, is at the end, though. The final battle, I understand that these are characters that, having lived in a modern world, they know how to use modern technology and maybe build a couple of cool things that ancient Japan and samurais don't know about. But, not to spoil it for you guys, but at the end, it's a giant robot battle. All the villains take their castles, or whatever you call them, and they build giant, like, transformer robots out of them. And then you have these monkeys that come along, and then some bats come along, and I'm sorry, it just lost me at the end. I mean, if it would have stuck with kind of a primal element with Batman and his wards, sidekicks, partners, whatever you want to call them, going after each of the villains and taking them down just in a samurai style, it would have been fine. But it ends with giant robots. I'm sorry, I can't get down with that. But so the first half of the film, I was really digging. And then it lost me in the second half. So you guys go out, rent it, buy it, whatever. Check it out for yourselves. Let me know what you think, and then fire back, and then we'll have a nice little talk about it. All right, next up, looks like Netflix and Marvel have given us a new trailer for Luke Cage Season 2 that premieres June 22nd on Netflix. We also got a little poster that I posted on the Twitter and Facebook group, so you can go and check that out. So, last time we saw Luke Cage was in The Defenders. He teamed up with Iron Fist, Jessica Jones, Daredevil, and I recently went back and rewatched Defenders. It was better the second time, although I skipped, the parts that I didn't like. So maybe that's why I thought it was a little better. But it was mainly Iron Fist and Daredevil's storyline. Jessica Jones and Luke Cage were kind of side characters that they really didn't need to be there. They were just there for muscle, more or less. So he's back in Harlem doing his thing. And from the trailer, it looks like he's this hometown hero, kind of challenging people to take him on almost. And he does find one guy that actually challenges him. I guess his name's what? Bushmaster? To be honest, I'm not a big Luke Cage guy. I'm not familiar with a lot of his villains and storylines. I got into Luke Cage through New Avengers, and then of course you have Heroes for Hire when he teams up with Iron Fist. Iron Fist being one of my favorite Marvel characters. That's really where I know Luke Cage from. And it's my opinion that yeah, Luke Cage Season 1 was okay. The first half was better than the second half. I would much rather have skipped a second season of Luke Cage and Iron Fist and just done a Heroes for Hire. I know they said that Finn Jones is going to be guest starring as Iron Fist in this second season. Of course, you have Misty Knight back there as well. You got Claire. Who knows who else is going to show up? Maybe Jessica Jones. We'll see. But in any event, Luke Cage, of course, I like the theme of it. I like how all the Netflix shows, for the most part, have kind of a general theme where Jessica Jones is about women empowerment and surviving abuse, trauma. Luke Cage was all about Harlem and Black history, and I think it's going to continue doing that in Season 2. Of course, there was a lot of good music that came out of the first season of Luke Cage, and I'm sure we'll continue that in this season. But it looks like, Luke is going to get his butt whooped to him. It's going to be shown on social media. And it's one of those things where, when you make God bleed, people cease to believe in him. So kind of maybe the storyline we're going for there. But Luke has to, get back in the game and train himself. And basically has to tap into something more than what he believes in. Maybe that's where Danny Rand comes in and helps him harness his chi. Although, to be honest, I don't think Danny's not good at harnessing his chi to begin with, so I don't think he has room to really show anyone else how to do it. But, of course, I'm going to check it out, and then when June 22nd comes, I'll let you guys know what I think about it, okay? So go online, watch the trailer, and let me know what you think. Speaking of trailers, we got our first look at the new Robin Hood movie coming out, starring Jamie Foxx and Taron Egerton. Now, the film is directed by Otto Bathurst. Is that how you say his name? I think that's how you say his name. He's directed several television shows such as Peaky Blinders and Black Mirror. And looks like this might be his first directing debut. Let me look on IMDb here. Quite possibly TV series. Yeah, he's just basically done a lot of TV, so this is his first forte into movies. So in this one, looks like they're playing a little different angle with the Robin Hood. He's still stealing from the rich, giving to the poor, but where in other interpretations everyone knew it was Robin of Locksley, he's become this hooded figure, almost like a vigilante, like a Batman or, dare I say it, Green Arrow in this case. And then, of course, we have our classic villain with Ben Mendelsohn as the Sheriff of Nottingham. Did this guy ever not play a villain? It's becoming like he's like Alan Rickman, who also played Sheriff of Nottingham. He always plays the villain. He's just born to play him. I don't know. And then, of course, you got Jamie Dornan from the Grey films as Will Scarlet. Who else is in here? Eve Hewson, who I'm not familiar with, is playing Maid Marian. And a couple other people. We got Friar Tuck. All the classic Robin Hood characters are in there. So I watched the trailer, and while I wasn't really impressed with it, I didn't hate it. I mean, I love a good sword and sandal movie. Anything where the main form of weaponry is a sword, I kind of dig. So in that sense, I'll probably end up checking this one out. I was not a fan of the last Robin Hood film starring Russell Crowe, directed by, Ridley Scott? Not a fan of that one. My favorite one is still the one with Kevin Costner and Alan Rickman, which I think is probably everyone's kind of standard as far as Robin Hood. You got the Disney film, which is very classic, and then, of course, the hilarious Mel Brooks Robin Hood Men in Tights. But I like the character, of course. Robin Hood, a great story that has been passed down from ages to ages. This one, it could go either way. To be honest, I don't think it's going to end up being phenomenal. But like I said, given that I am a fan of the genre, I think it could be enjoyable for me. So you guys check out the trailer. Let me know what you think. And, of course, fire back on Facebook and Twitter. Let me know. All right, and then lastly, guys, a little piece of news came out today that I figure I'd just quickly share for you. So according to Deadlines, the Bill and Ted third film, Bill and Ted Face the Music, is officially in pre-productions. That's right. In an interview with Alex Winters and Keanu Reeves in a joint message saying, quote, "We couldn't be more excited to get the whole band back together again. Chris and Ed wrote an amazing script, and with Dean at the helm, we've got a dream team." Now, they have been talking about a third Bill and Ted film for years now. The last time we saw them was in 1991's Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey, but it looks like the film, as far as the latest news, is moved into pre-production with an international sales pegged to launch at Cannes. 27 years ago, these guys played Ted Theodore Logan and Bill S. Preston Esquire, and now they're coming back. So the plot is said to be that the characters are now middle-aged with families of their own. Although they've penned thousands of tunes over the years, they have fallen short of the greatest song ever written. When a visitor from the future warns their song can save the universe, Bill and Ted set off on another adventure with their daughters in search of inspiration for the tune that will bring harmony to existence. Now, speaking as a guy who actually watched the Bill and Ted cartoon and actually had Bill and Ted toys, I still don't think this is going to happen. I mean, they've been talking about this movie for decades, and, as much as it could actually happen, it's one of those franchises that hasn't had a film in many, many years. And 90% of the time, when a franchise tries to come back, it's not good. It fails, usually, because it's been too long, people have forgotten about it, or people who go to the movies a lot, they don't care, because they don't have that nostalgia to them. I'm not saying I'm not interested in seeing a film like this, if it's a good script, like they said it is, but I think it's just too little too late. I honestly do. And like I said, this is a guy who enjoyed Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure and, considers Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey okay. In any event, I can see, however, if this works, they can continue the franchise because it says in the description that they're going to take their daughters on their adventure. So, of course, a little bit of a passing of the torch in that sense. We'll have to wait and see, guys. Like I said, it says, it's all go and pre-production is going to start, but I still don't believe it. I mean, I don't know. And, of course, we're missing a very crucial element. The third member of the tribe is Rufus. It says a visitor from the future warns them about their song. It's not going to be Rufus, which is sad. I don't know. I would love to see a movie like this, especially, something that gets me excited about the franchise as well. But I honestly just don't think it's going to happen. I mean, if it does, I don't think it's going to be any good. Call me a pessimist. I'm sorry, but that's just the way I feel about it. All right, guys. Well, that is it for today. Time for you to fire back on the Facebook group, Twitter account, and Gmail account, and let me know what you think. Did you see the trailers for Luke Cage and Robin Hood? What do you think? Of course, Batman Ninja. Have you seen it? Did you like it? Did you think it was kind of stupid with the robots like I did? Let me know. And the recent Bill and Ted news. Do you remember who Bill and Ted is? Do you know who they are? Have you seen the movies? Did you like the movies? Let me know, guys. I hopefully will be back in a couple days with some more good stuff. Until then, may the Force be with us all.